episode 9. So episode 9, we're taking a break from all the current happenings. We're getting a history lesson. We pretty much find out how the city of current day Compton came about. So the man in the black hat, the ghost that we've been seeing throughout the show, he's a real life person that was an early settler in the area back during the frontier days. He was a pastor, kind of building a community, a new community, a new settlement out here, and some black people who were, migrating from the South. I guess slavery had just ended, I'm assuming, or was on the verge of ending, and they had left the South to migrate to California. And they were welcomed into this community, even though, it was an all-white community. They were the only black people amongst them. They were welcomed wholeheartedly by this pastor. So the pastor, when he's introduced to us, he's mourning the loss of his son. So loss is like really a big theme throughout this show, the loss of a child in particular. So the man is leading his community. He's a pastor, but the community's starting to feel like he's becoming a little too big-headed. He's having direct conversations with God. He's kind of putting himself on that God-like level, and the community's kind of looking at him sideways, and they're not liking it. And they want to get rid of the black family as well. They're like, okay, why do they get to come here and live for free and not have to pitch in and not have to work? And, they still was kind of stuck in them slavery days. Like, we can't just, use these two as slaves. That's what the fuck they was on. The pastor was like, nah. So they're making fun of the black people there. They're talking about how we don't belong. We don't belong to this community. We're not African. We're not American. That just pretty much just goes to show we are a displaced ass people, and it just sucks. Like, they were able to say, like, I came from this Dutch colony, my great ancestors. You know what I'm saying? We're just now starting to get Ancestry.com and stuff, where we're starting to get more of an idea. But, it sucks to not have knowledge of self and to have that ethnic pride and that racial pride. I mean, I have my racial pride, I have my ethnic pride, but black, I want to have that Malian pride. I don't even know how to say it, Malawian pride. I want to have that shit. I want to know some more about that. So, of course, they're in California. It's a drought. They're having a hard time finding water. They haven't been able to find a new source of water. They're running low. So the black man decides, like, hey, I don't want to be a guest. Let me help. Let me help you find your water. And he finds the water. And instead of them saying, like, okay, like, damn, thank you for helping us out. Like, thanks for putting in that work. Thanks for doing what we were complaining that you weren't doing, working and helping out. They decided to say, oh, no, you too good. You did this too good. This is witchcraft. This is that voodoo shit that they would be talking. Like, it had to be a problem. It had to be a problem. Maybe question, like, were the witch trials a thing in California? Like, of course, I've heard of the Salem witch trials, and I know they had like a lot of witch trials in like England and stuff. Like, were witch trials kind of like a thing in California? I don't know. I'm gonna do my Googles and find out. But that's kind of what it was feeling like. It was like, oh. Like I said, back to as long as they're not doing better than you, as long as they ain't got a leg up on you, they good. So at this point, the people of the community are oppressing old boy, the pastor. They're like, look, you got this witch. Look at the Bible. The Bible says that they are slaves. Like, it's okay to have slaves. Like, why aren't you following the Bible? That's your man. Like, that's your right-hand man, right? So then at this point, the pastor's like, you know what? You're right. Like, okay. The Bible does say that. So he starts mistreating the black people. And in the midst of him mistreating the black people, he's starting to lose his fight a little bit. So the whole community turns on them. The pastor turns on them. They're just literally just feeling like shit. So at this point, they're like, look, we can get our little wagon and we can shake. Like, you promised you would help us get our wagon fixed. Like, let us get up out of here. So, like, we see what the hell y'all was doing here. Like, y'all wasn't trying to be our friends. Y'all pretty much luring us here so we can be y'all slaves and not happening. Get the tire on our shit and get us the fuck up out of here. And they were like, nah, we got a whole court. So the lady, mind you, she's pregnant this whole time. Super pregnant. They're holding court. They, of course, find her guilty. And while the whole chaos is going on, she's actively in labor. And because of their witchcraft and helping them out and being the evil people that they were, the evil black people that they were casted out. They were blinded. When I say they were blinded, They literally got some hot pokers and put them in their eyes and blinded their eyes and lit their asses on fire. They blinded them with little pokers in their eyes, and then they cursed them. And the black lady was like, I cursed y'all asses back. And when she cursed their asses back, that Bible lit in the flames. So after that, they were like, oh no, we're not just gonna blind y'all asses and cast y'all out. We gotta get rid of y'all bitches. So they lynched them and lit their asses on fire. And like the whole community was like literally, like you would have thought they were watching Beyonce live. Like, and that really was the equivalent to watching Beyonce live back during them days. Like, going to go see a lynching was like the thing to do on a fucking Saturday night. Like, they live for that shit. Like, they got their Sunday's best to go out there and go look at some people get hung and burned. And I just, ugh. That's just unhuman, like, to me. Like, how, I don't think a grizzly bear could sit there and watch another grizzly bear get hung and not be like, God damn, like, this bothers me because I'm a grizzly bear too. Like, this shit can happen to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's not even like an animal couldn't even do that, I feel like. So in the midst of their joy, they're sitting here so caught up in the excitement of seeing some niggas burn. They don't even realize that their whole village is burning down with them. The whole village goes up in flames. And as the village is going up in flames, there's like this curse that he's placing on the place. And it pretty much says like, break them from, he's pretty much saying he's going to break black people from the inside. Any black people that's crossed that land moving forward will be broken from the inside. They will be cursed moving forward. If the black people that come moving forward don't suffer, he will suffer. So pretty much the elder in the afterlife, the pastor, in the afterlife, he is cursed to damnation and to cursed to torture black people for the rest of his life, or he will in turn be tortured himself. And that community is present day Compton, where the Emory family